Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Meritorious devotees, today also we have the opportunity to listen and learn the great teachings of Gautama Supreme Buddha, the perfectly self-enlightened one, our teacher. If we were to say that we are the most fortunate people in this world, it would not be an overstatement, because we are so very lucky, so fortunate, that as humans we got this opportunity to listen and learn the teachings of the Buddha and also live by them, to practice the teachings. We couldn't have hoped for anything better. This is a rare opportunity. We have to understand that. Because Buddha said there are 5 things that is very scarce, extremely rare in this world. That is arising of a Buddha, it is very rare. Because we know for the past 100 eons, only 7 Buddhas arose in this world. Only 7. For 100 years. Such a long time. So imagine, that is a rare thing. And Buddha said, also it is rare, this birth we have got, birth in the human realm. To be born as a human, that is also extremely rare, said the Buddha. We got that as well. We were born as humans, you and me. And Buddha said this opportunity we have got here and now to actually listen to the teachings of the Buddha, that is also very rare. And here we are, listening to the teachings of the Buddha. And Buddha said, the ordination in the Buddha's dispensation as a monk, that is also very rare. See how many few in this world, how few dons this robe of the Arahants. Very few have that opportunity. And also Buddha said the opportune moment is rare in this world. That is, to be born as a human, Deva or Brahma with wisdom, and also to have the opportunity to listen to the teachings of the Buddha by the Buddha himself or a disciple of the Buddha. Anyway, to listen to the teachings of the Buddha and be a person who can understand this dhamma. Be in the proximity where the dhamma is taught. That is the opportunity, the opportune moment, the rare occurrence. So we have come across all these 5 rare and scarce things in this world. So aren't we fortunate? Of course we are. So we are among the most fortunate in this world, if we think of it. No one can counter that argument. That's the truth. And today also we have the opportunity to learn a very beautiful sutta by the Buddha. This sutta is found in the Middle Length Discourses, Volume 2, Majjhima Nikaya. The name of this sutta, the Pali name is Kukkuravathiya Sutta, meaning the ascetic who behave like a dog. The ascetic who behave like a dog. So this is how the sutta goes. At one time, the Buddha was staying in the land of Kolyans, where there was a town named Halidda Wassana. So in this town, there lived two friends. They were friends from their very younger ages. Even when they were the kids, they were friends. They played together, did everything together. When they grew up, they decided there must be something more to this world rather than enjoying the sensual pleasures. We have to seek out deliverance from suffering or better rebirth among the devas. So thinking in this manner, they decided to become ascetics. And there were so many different practices at that time in India, in the time of Buddha, different practices. People are so very committed to realizing this life. They focused on something, a higher goal. They sought out something more from life rather than enjoying the sensual pleasures. And many gave up the lay life and practiced various practices under the tutelages of various ascetics teachers. And in this case, these two friends, Punna and Senior. So in this case, Punna, the son of Kolya, who had taken a vow to behave like a cow, and Senior, a naked ascetic who had taken vow to behave like a dog. So Punna had taken up to behave like a cow. That was the ascetic practice he had chosen. While his friend Senior, he had chosen to be naked and live like a dog. So they both went to see the Buddha. Punna bowed to the Buddha and sat down to one side, just like a cow would. That is the ascetic practice. While Seni exchanged greetings and polite conversation with Buddha, before sitting down to one side, curled up like a dog. Have you seen when a dog, before they sit, wherever they go, they circle around and they sit. So Seni, having taken up this observance, this practice as an ascetic, to live like a dog, to behave like a dog, he was naked. This was happening in front of Buddha. Imagine, he was naked, he behaved like a dog and sat, curled up like a dog. Just imagine this picture, the graphic image. This is in a way very important, no? For humans to be born as humans, but to fall to this state, this dire state. That is the nature of samsara. Until we come across the teachings of the Buddha, there is no solution. They did this because they believe this is the way to end suffering. This is the way for a good rebirth. And they were committed to that practice. So in the time of the Buddha, in India, there were many who had given up the household life. And whatever they saw, people practicing or teaching, their only goal was to eradicate suffering. They wanted to have a rebirth in the next life. They always thought, where will I be reborn again in next life? Always they thought of that. So that is why they gave their household life. And whatever practice they found, because there were many practices going at the time, people, there were ascetics who would soak themselves in they would go to the river when the water is very cold, and they would absorb in the water and bathe in the cold water to purify themselves. And some would stand for hours in the scorching heat in the sun. Some would lie down in beds made of nails in various postures to purify themselves. So in this way, there are many practices. And among those practices, one was to behave like a dog and a cow. That is what they had taken up, these two friends. So imagine behaving like a cow or a dog, hoping for rebirth in heaven, hoping for deliverance from suffering when Buddha was alive. These are the things that were there in India at that time. So anyway, they were fortunate to approach the Buddha. And then they conversed. And Punna said to the Buddha, "Sir, this naked, Venerable Sir, Master Gautama, this naked dog ascetic senior does a hard thing, a difficult thing. He eats food placed on the ground," says Punna. "For a long time he has undertaken that observance to behave like a dog who senior. Where will he be reborn in his next life?" asked Punna. So Punna asked of his friend who is practicing this asceticism as a dog, behaving like a dog, what would this rebirth in next life would be, because they were hoping for a good rebirth through this practice. That was their end goal. Then Buddha says, "Enough, Punna, let it be. Don't ask me that question. Drop it," said the Buddha. Don't. Buddha didn't want to ask that question. But again and again, for a second time, Punna would ask the same question. Then still Buddha refused to answer. And the third time also, Buddha refused. But he kept insisting. So, and asked where Senior would be reborn because of his asceticism as a dog, behaving like a dog. So then Buddha said, "Clearly, Punna, I'm not getting through to you when I say, enough, Punna, let it be. Don't ask me that. You're not paying heed to what I say. Since you are persistent and you insist, I will answer you," said the Buddha. And Buddha went on to say, "Here, Punna, if someone develops the dog observance, the ritual of behaving like a dog, fully and uninterruptedly, because he had been doing this completely committed for quite a long time for now, they develop a dog's ethics, a dog's mentality, and a dog's behavior throughout his life. So he has the dog's thoughts, dog's ethics, dog's mentality, dog's behavior. Because he eats, sleeps, everything. He doesn't wear clothes, he's naked, everything he does like a dog. He lives, basically he's a human, but still he lives life of a dog." The Buddha said, when his body breaks up, when he dies, after death, he is reborn in the company of dogs. Why? Said the Buddha. Why is he born in that? Because he has the mentality of a dog, the ethics of a dog, the behavior of a dog. Therefore, Buddha said, then surely after death he will be reborn amongst dogs. Was that what he was hoping for? No, he wanted to be reborn in heaven. But he will be reborn in among dogs, would say the Buddha. But if he has such a view like this, by this virtue or observance of asceticism or holy life, I shall become a great god or some lesser god. That is wrong view. That is wrong. If he believes because of this ascetic practice of behaving like a dog, if he believes that he would be reborn as God or any other lesser god, that is a wrong view, because that is not the way to be reborn among gods. And Buddha said, because of that wrong view, as a result, an individual with wrong view is reborn in one of two places. So if a person holds a wrong view, there is only two rebirths, said Buddha. Either he is born in the animal realm, or he is born in the hell worlds. So in this case, because if he has the intention, the belief that he would be reborn in the Devas world, having the wrong view that this practice would lead to that rebirth, that wrong view would take him to either animal realm or rebirth in the hell world. And Buddha also says, the dog observance alone leads to rebirth in the company of dogs, while wrong view leads to rebirth in hell. If the wrong view is, if he is attached a lot to that wrong view, straight away he will be reborn in hell. If the attachment is less, then the chances are he might be born in the animal realm. In his case, because this person, he says, so the dog observance alone could lead him to rebirth in the company of dogs. So think how he might have felt, because he had been practicing this for many years up to that moment. So when he heard this, Senior cried and burst out in tears, having heard this predicament. So see the danger of wrong news, believing in wrong things. Now people nowadays, also, they can believe in wrong things. If you believe in non-dhamma, thinking this is the dhamma, this is the teachings of the Buddha, that is wrong view. And if you practice that teachings, thinking this is what the Buddha taught, then you are going to end up, if you have a wrong view because of that, you will be born either in the animal realm or the hell world. So that is why you should learn the teachings of the Buddha as you find in the canonical discourses, the original discourses, and practice by them. And if you follow a wrong mentor, a teacher who has the wrong view, and you believe in that wrong view, again you are misled. If you think of an ignoble person to be noble and chose him as your mentor, then again you are in trouble, because you too would take up his wrong views. And belief in that wrong view would take you into the animal world or the hell world. So that is why we should have a clear knowledge of the teachings of the Buddha. What exactly did the Buddha taught? That's what should be important. Not anyone else's interpretations or what he would think that this is the way to practice. You have to always follow the teachings of the Buddha, the original discourses, and learn by them and live by them. Then you are safe. Or else there's a risk of getting attached to a wrong view, taking up a wrong view, and that would take you to the animal world or the hell worlds. See the danger? Then the Buddha said to Punna, this is what I didn't get through to you. This is why I didn't want to answer that question, but you were insistent, you wanted to know. So now you are crying, said Buddha to Senior. Then Senior says, Venerable Sir, I am not crying because of what you said, but Venerable Sir Gautama, for a long time I have undertaken this observance to behave like a dog. Likewise, my friend Punna, he has taken a vow to behave like a cow. For a long time he has undertaken that observance to behave like a cow. Where will he be reborn in the next life? So that Senior, see their friendship? He was crying not for himself. He was crying, thinking, if this is what I have achieved, if this is what is my predicament, what of my friend Punna, who had been practicing behaving like a cow for quite a long time? What is his predicament? Where will he reborn in his next life? He wanted to know. Again, Buddha refuses to answer. Because see how compassionate the Buddha is? He doesn't straight out say like, you are going to be born in hell. He gives them a chance. And they willingly ask the question again and then only Buddha says. Buddhas only speak truthful, meaningful things at the right moment. So he waits for the right moment. And when they insist, again Senior insist, I want to know where my friend Punna will be reborn after birth because of his ascetic practice of behaving like a cow. He wants to know. Buddha again to say to drop it, but they don't. They are insisting. Then Buddha tells, okay, clearly, saying, I'm not getting through to you when I say enough, drop it. So I will answer you, and Buddha answers, saying, if someone develops the cow observance fully and uninterruptedly, as have Punna, he develops cow's ethics, cow's mentality, cow's behavior fully and uninterruptedly. And after death, because of that practice, he is reborn among the cows, in the company of cows. See? No respite. And Buddha goes on to say, if they have such reason, if that person have the view, okay, by this practice, I will be reborn in a heavenly world among gods. That is a wrong view. And that wrong view can take him into the hell world. And the observance alone, behaving like a cow, can take him to the birth as a cow, rebirth as a cow. So they have been so very committed to this practice, many years thinking this should take them to the heavenly worlds. Even now, people are willing to kill themselves, commit suicide, be suicide bombers in the name of their religion, thinking they will be born in heaven with heavenly maidens. But that is a wrong view. And that wrong view can take them to where? The animal world or the hell world. They believe this view so very strongly, they are even ready to kill their own father, mother if they try to stop them from achieving that goal, killing in the name of their religion. Because in that religion, there is the wrong view. That is why we are fortunate to learn the teachings of the Buddha. And Buddha, in this way, pointed out that's where he will be born, Punna. Also will be born in hell or as a cow. And again, it was time for Punna to cry. And he burst into tears. So in this we have to understand wrong view leads to the hell worlds, the animal world. And it breeds suffering. There's a nice simile of wrong view. Buddha says, from wrong view always it breeds suffering, hurt. Nothing good is going to come about from wrong view. Because when your view is wrong, then your access by body, speech, mind all get skewed. They are going to be evil and wrong. Your deeds, actions are going to be wrong. They are going to be tainted and they will inflict suffering on yourself and the world at large. And Buddha gave a simile of the seed of a magosa seed. When the tree grows, the magosa seed is very bitter. Anything you get from that tree is bitter, not sweet. Likewise, everything that stems from a wrong view is going to be hurtful. It's not sweet, it's not going to be good, it's going to be evil. It's going to produce chaos in the world. So that's a nice simile of the Buddha. So in this way now, you hereby, if a person, now these people who is sponsoring for this Dhamma talk, they are promoting what? The right view. And if you promote right view, again and again you come across the teachings of the Buddha. In your samsaric journey, again you will have the wisdom, the chance to come across the teachings of the Buddha because you promoted the right view, the teachings of the Buddha. So others also can give up their own view. That is why this gifting Dhamma, Buddha said, excels all gifts. Because you're promoting right view, encouraging people to do the right thing, encouraging people to abandon wrong views, instill themselves in the confidence of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha in the refuge, and make them go for refuge in the triple Dhamma. Make them give up their bad habits and observe precepts. So in this way you help them to foster good qualities, wholesome qualities. So we have to beware of our actions and practice good things because it becomes habituated. And we get addicted to certain things. So if you practice good things, like even in your past life, if you had done good, wholesome deeds, then even in this life, your practice becomes easy. Because in your samsaric journey, you have practiced good deeds, good actions, good thoughts, good intentions. So in this way, we get habituated to what we do. So we should be very, very careful as to what we take up in this life, the things we engage in this life, and see whether they taint our mind. whether we take up right or wrong views. Because see, they practice the wrong thing, behaving like a dog and cow for years, and they got habituated. And because of that, they are now going to face the dire predicament of being born in hell worlds. So the Buddha said to Seniya, this is what I didn't want you to know. Like now that you are sad after hearing that your friend Punna also would be born either as a cow or in the hell worlds. So then Punna says, so I am not crying because of what you said, but for a long time I have undertaken this observance to behave like a cow. I am quite confident that the Buddha is capable of teaching me so that I can give up this cow observance. And the naked ascetic Senior can give up the dog observance as well. So see, now they were very fortunate in the sense they understood that Buddha can help them. They understood that Buddha can rid them of this wrong view. So they saw Buddha as their savior in this case. Like, because not everyone can give up wrong views this easily. Think how difficult it is for us to do giving up smoking, for people to give up drinking, to give up womanizing. So these are things that you get addicted to. Give up drugs. Now think if you are addicted to drugs, so the rehab, the process, it is not something that is going to end in a month or two. So there is at least 4 phases like intakes, the detoxing, the rehabilitation, then the aftercare and the ongoing process. This takes years sometimes. So once you get addicted, so these are chemicals, drugs and things. Now if you get attached to wrong view and you keep on practicing, then how difficult it is to give that up. But in this case, in the time of the Buddha, people were very meritorious. Even they were on the wrong path, when they heard the teachings of the Buddha, they were wise enough to understand that they were been doing the wrong thing. And in this case, they were ready to give up easily. And he said, I'm quite confident that the Buddha is capable of teaching us what is right and wrong and helping us to give up this asceticism, this practice, what we've been doing so far. He had confidence in the Buddha. So they humbly accepted the refuge of Buddha. Now imagine yourself, if you are learning, studying for exam. So if you don't, now you go to a class and you go to a mentor or teacher, and if you don't believe in him, if you don't respect him, are you going to, if you don't believe in his teachings, his words, will you do good in the exam? Will you benefit from his teachings? No, that's not going to work out. It's going to be a waste of your time and money, that's all. So the belief is important. So this person is going to show me the right path so that I can achieve the goal. So they believed in the Buddha. That is confidence, shraddha. Then Buddha said, okay, now they were ready. Buddha knew they were ready. And Buddha knew what to teach them. So Buddha had that wisdom, that special quality. He knew the exact words he should use for a person to enlighten him, to make him realize the truth of life. Buddha said, well then Punna, listen and pay close attention. I will speak. Yes sir, replied the Buddha. Punna, I declare these 4 kinds of karma, having realized them with my own insight. So this is Buddha's realization. That's why he's a Samma Sambuddha, the perfectly self-enlightened one. And because they were doing actions, karma, and Buddha focuses on karma. So that is what he uses to teach them in this particular aspect of Dhamma. I declare these 4 kinds of karma, Buddha says. What for? There are dark karma with dark results. Karma is actions, deeds. So there are dark karma with dark results. Then Buddha says the second is there are bright karma with bright results. Third, then there are dark and bright karma with dark and bright results. There are dark karma with dark results. There are bright karma with bright results. There are dark and bright karma with dark and bright results. Fourth, there are neither dark nor bright karma. with neither dark or nor bright results, which lead to the eradication of karma. So with these four type of karma, you can eradicate all karma, said the Buddha. So these are the four kinds of karma. And then Buddha goes on to explain each type of karma. And what are dark karma with dark results, explains Buddha. It's when someone does brutal acts by body, speech, and mind. If someone, that's the word Buddha uses here, brutal acts by body, speech, and mind. What are brutal acts? Brutal acts are if you kill living beings, if you steal, if you engage in sexual misconduct, they are brutal actions by body. Then what are brutal actions by speech? If you lie, if you speak divisively, if you speak harsh words, if you engage in idle chatter, those are brutal acts by speech. When you speak idly, do you think it's brutal to do so? If you speak harshly, you think it's brutal to do so? It is. That's the word Buddha uses, it's brutal, he says here. Because you are hurting yourself and you are hurting others as well. I remember once a young man came to one of our monasteries. He was like 28 years old by then. And when the monks, we speak kindly. That's the nature of monks. So he burst out in tears when he heard the kind words. He said, "This is the first time in my 28 years I have heard kind words." So all his life, he had not heard kind words. Imagine. Why? What karma? Because he had done the brutal karma of speaking harsh words in past life. Buddha said, if you speak harsh words, then you too will hear harsh speech spoken to you. That is why it's brutal karma. Now he has to suffer. He had been suffering to that point. Imagine for 28 years. So that is brutal karma. Brutal access by speech. What are brutal actions by mind? If you are envious of things that belongs to others, if you harbor anger, hatred towards others, and if you have wrong views, what they say, that is brutal actions by mind. So, and Buddha goes on to say, having committed brutal actions by body, speech, and mind, he is reborn in a brutal world as a result, where painful contacts touch him. Touched by painful contacts, they experience painful feelings that are exclusively painful. Exclusively painful. That means if you do brutal acts by body, speech, and mind, you are born in hell worlds. So there is no respite in heavenly worlds, hell worlds. It's all exclusively painful. It's all suffering. So that are dark karma with dark result. What is the dark result? You are straight away reborn in hell, like the beings in hell, said the Buddha. So you should be very careful of your actions by body, speech, and mind. Here it says, where painful contacts touching, because once you are born, you are open to contact. Now think of this world. Every day, every moment, we are open to contact. Contact via eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. We can't run away from contact. So if it's a pleasant contact, there's a pleasant feeling. If it's an unpleasant contact, it's an unpleasant feeling. In the hell worlds, it's all unpleasant contact, painful contact. Then there are only painful feelings, only suffering, exclusively painful. That is why Buddha used the simile of the flayed cow when talking about contact. A flayed cow, if it is standing in the open, the insects in the air would bite on it. If it leans against the tree, the insects on the tree would bite it. If it goes in the water, whatever creatures that are in the water, they would bite. because it's a flayed cow. Likewise, contact is not something you can run away from. You're always exposed to contact. And Buddha goes on to say, this is how a being is born from his karma. This is how beings, we all, are born of karma. For your actions determine your rebirth. And when you are reborn, contact affects you. This is why I say that beings are heirs of their actions, said the Buddha. These are called dark karma with dark results. So that is dark karma with dark results. So you have to understand that if you do evil deeds by body, speech and mind, brutal actions, then as a result you will be born in hell worlds. And what are bright karma with bright results? Buddha says, it's when someone does kind actions by way of body, speech and mind. Having committed kind actions, they are reborn in a pleasing world. Kind actions means you abstain from stealing, you abstain from sexual misconduct, you abstain from killing living beings. Then you abstain from harsh speech, you abstain from lying, abstain from divisive speech, you abstain from idle chatter. And then you practice loving kindness. And you are a person who you don't be jealous or you do not envy things that belongs to others. You are content with what you have. And you don't take up wrong views. So then you are acquiring karma, bright karma by body, speech and mind. Then there will be bright results. That means you are then reborn in a pleasing world, said the Buddha, where pleasing contacts touch them. Touched by pleasing contacts, they experience pleasing feelings that are exclusively present. So if you only do good, kind actions by body, speech and mind, then what happens is, then you will be born in an exclusively happy world, like the Subhakinna Devas, Buddha says. Devas with refulgent glory. So exclusive happiness you have in those worlds. And Buddha goes on to say, this is how beings are born of karma. For your actions determine your rebirth, and when you are reborn, contact affects you. This is why I say that beings are born heirs to their actions. These are called bright karma with bright results. Then Buddha went on to talk about, and what are dark and bright karma with dark and bright results? It's when someone does both brutal and kind acts by body, speech. So it's a mixed bag. He does good and bad, brutal and kind actions by body and speech. So having committed such actions that are both brutal and also kind actions, he is reborn in a world that is both brutal and pleasant, brutal and pleasing, where brutal and pleasing contact touch them. Touched by both brutal and pleasing contacts, he experienced both brutal and pleasing feelings that are a mixture of pleasure and pain, like humans, said the Buddha, and also like some gods and some beings in the lower realms. So because in the human world, we experience happiness as well as suffering. And also there are some gods, that means gods who live earthbound, gods close to the earth, they experience both happiness and suffering. And some beings in the lower realms, they like, they are called Vimana Peta, we say. That means ghosts who also experience some heavenly pleasures. There was pleasures. There was a case in the Petavattvi Kamakos, like there is this Vimana Peta, a ghostly being that also experience at the night time, it experience heavenly pleasures. In the daytime, it experienced lot of suffering. That means dogs come and tear up his body, eat him up into bits. And again, when night time comes, he becomes a deva with all the pleasures. What is the result of that? Means when he was a deer hunter in his human life, and he had a friend who had gone for refuge to triple gem, who encouraged him to give up killing living beings. But he was not willing to give up hunting. He was a person who hunted deers with a pack of dogs. But the friend insisted that he gave it up. So in the end, the friend said, okay, if you can't give up it in the daytime, at least at night observe the 5 precepts. So he went hunting in the daytime, and at night he observed the precept. As a result, so he did both dark and bright karma. As a result, at night time he enjoyed heavenly pleasures because he gave the 5 precepts. In the daytime, he suffers. A pack of dogs come running to him and tear him up, eat him up, piece by piece. He's beaten by dogs throughout the day. See how dark and bright karma bear fruit in the human world, and also in some gods, and also in this case in some lower realms. So that is the nature. Then Buddha said, now in this way we have to understand that we are heir to our own karma. Whatever actions we do by body, speech and mind, we have to suffer the consequences. So that is why we learn, so that we can only do good deeds, and we have refrained from the bad deed. We can refrain from the evil. Then Buddha goes on to say, and what are neither dark nor bright karma, with neither dark nor bright results, which lead to the eradication of karma. So this particular karma can eradicate all 3 types of karma: dark karma, bright karma, and dark and bright karma. All are eradicated with this karma. What is that? It is the intention to give up dark karma with dark results, bright karma with bright results, and both dark and bright karma with both dark and bright results. These are called neither dark nor bright karma with neither dark nor bright results, which lead to the eradication of karma. So this is the most important aspect of karma. In the sense, if you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, this is the karma you accrue by doing so. That means when you practice Noble Eightfold Path, then you refrain from killing living beings with the intention of giving up it totally. You abstain from stealing with the intention of giving it up totally. You abstain from sexual misconduct with the intention of giving it up totally. And also harsh speech, false speech, idle chatter, all of this you give it up with the intention of achieving liberation, practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. That is the end goal. To that end, to develop right view, you practice this. Because right view is the beginning point in the Noble Eightfold Path. And you practice loving kindness, and you foster the right view. You give up jealousy, envy, all these defilements. So in this way, then you practice virtue, then you develop samadhi, that is concentration, then you practice vipassana, insight meditation. You contemplate on the impermanence of the 6 senses. You contemplate upon the 4 elements, the 32 5 parts of the body. So in this way, you practice insight meditation. And when you do so, you create karma. That karma can eradicate all the above mentioned karma. That karma can eradicate dark karma, bright karma, also dark and bright karma, the mix. All of these karma eradicate when you develop the Noble Eightfold Path. Developing the Noble Eightfold Path means you are developing virtue, concentration, and wisdom. Then gradually what happens when you progress in the path, say when you become a stream maintained, you eradicate all the karma that would have borne fruit in the 4 bad destinations, because you are free of the 4 bad destination. Free means you will not be reborn there, because all the karma that would have brought about rebirth in the heavenly worlds are eradicated. When you become a once returner, that means there is only a small portion of karma that can again bring you about rebirth in the sensual realm. All the rest of karma you have accrued throughout the samsaric journey have been eradicated. You will be born in the sensual worlds only one time. And when you become a non-returner, you progress further in the Noble Eightfold Path. You eradicate all the karma that would have brought about growth in the sensual places. and you will not be reborn again in the sensual worlds. And you will become arhat. You eradicate all the karma you have eradicated in this samsaric journey. And you will not create new karma. No karma means no bhava. If there is no karma, there is no karma to bear fruit. If there is no bhava, there is no rebirth. That is the end of suffering that you achieve when you become an arhat. So that all you can do with this fourth time of karma that is neither dark nor bright, karma which lead to the eradication of karma. So that is the fourth type of karma Buddha explains. When in this way Buddha had spoken, Punna, the observer of the cow behavior, said to the Buddha, "Magnificent Venerable Sir, magnificent. The Blessed One has made the Dhamma clear in many ways. So from today onwards, let the Blessed One remember me as a follower who has gone to refuge to the Buddha for life. Buddha, please accept me as a disciple of you, as your disciple who have gone for refuge, gone to the refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, the triple gem for life." Said who? Punna. Punna, who had practiced the asceticism of behaving like a cow. Then Senior goes on to say, Senior, the naked dog ascetic, said to the Buddha, "Excellent, Venerable Sir, excellent. Indeed, it is magnificent what you have taught us. I go to the Blessed One for refuge and to the Dhamma and the Sangha of bhikkhus. I will receive the going forth under the Blessed One." So he want to ordain as a monk. And also I would like to receive higher ordination as a monk. So Senior wanted to go a step further. He wanted to become a monk, ordain in the Buddha's dispensation and also receive higher ordination. Buddha said, "Senior, if someone formally ordained in another sect wishes to take the going for the ordination in this training and teaching, they must spend 4 months on probation." So there's a probation period for people who have been practicing other religions. When 4 months have passed, if the bhikkhus are satisfied, if the monks are satisfied, they'll give the going forth, the ordination into the monkhood. However, I have recognized individual differences in this. So Buddha agrees, okay, but you have to stay for 4 months in probation before you have, then the monk will decide whether it's suitable for you to be ordained as a monk. Then see what he says. So if 4 months probation are required, in such a case, I'll spend 4 years on probation. When 4 years have passed, if the bhikkhus are satisfied, let them give the going for the ordination into Makhan. So he is willing to be there for 4 years. Why? He understands how precious this moment, this opportunity is. How precious it is to live by the teachings of the Buddha, abide by the teachings of the Buddha, to have his mentorship. So he realized the value of this opportune moment. That is what we too have to realize. This opportunity we have got. So very rare. And the naked dog ascetic Senior received the going forth, the ordination in the Buddha's presence. Not long after his ordination, Venerable Senior, living alone, withdrawn, diligent, keen and resolute, soon realized the supreme end of the spiritual path in this very life. So he developed the Noble Eightfold Path. He developed virtue, samadhi. He developed insightful insight, wisdom. And he lived at having achieved with own insight the goal for which gentleman rightly gone forth from the lay life to the monkhood. He realized what? He realized for himself that birth is destroyed. The holy life, the monk life has been lived. What has to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being. There is no more rebirth for me. In this way, Venerable Senior also became one of the Arahants. So see, these two people. One came to the Buddha, Punna, behaving like a cow. The other, Senior, came to the Buddha, behaving like a god. behaving like a dog. But because of the compassion of the Buddha, because the guidance of the Buddha, because of teachings, they were able to give up all these wrong views. And Senior, he was able to become an Arahant. Why? Because of Buddha, because of the Dhamma, because of the Sangha, because he ordained among the monks. They too help him. So we too have the refuge. We are fortunate to go for refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha and practice the teachings, learn the teachings. So we also must try to instill ourselves in the four salient features of stream entry. That is confidence in the Buddha, confidence in the Dhamma, confidence in the Sangha, and keeping the 5 precepts. So if we have these salient fundamental aspects of stream entry, one day we can enter the stream. That's the Noble Eightfold Path. And we too can be free from samsara once and forever. So may we also have the good fortune to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now we shall share the merits. So it is today, this Dhamma program, the gifting of Dhamma, is sponsored by Miss Reem Aboud from Toronto, Canada. So she would like to share all the merits that we all have acquired to this meritorious action, this bright action. First of all, we shall share this merit. May all the merit acquired today by us be shared with all the Brahmas, God Sakka, along with the Tavatings and Chatu Maharajika Devas, and all other Devas of the world. May all Devas and Brahmas increase in heavenly lifespan, beauty, happiness, power, and be fortunate to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may also these merits be shared with the departed father of Miss Reem Aboud. The name of the father is Kamil Aboud. She would like to share all this merit with the loving father, Kamil Aboud. So may these merits be shared with him and also all other relatives of Miss Reem Aboud, long lost relatives in this life and also throughout the journey in the samsara. So may all these relatives along with her father be comforting and free of suffering, and may they be free from samsara at the earliest opportunity. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Also may these merits be shared with our teacher and our noble friend, Most Venerable Kiribati Guru Jnananantera, and especially Jivananda Bhante for being a mentor and Kalyana Mitta to Miss Reem Aboud. And she would also like to share these merits with all the venerable monks of Mahamevnawa Buddhist monasteries, the Anagarika monks, the ordination aspirants, and may they all rejoice in this merit, and may they all realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And she would also like to share the merits with her two brothers and their families. And by the power of these merits, may they be well and happy, and may they too have the fortune to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also may these merits be shared with our teachers, parents, friends, relatives, and loved ones, and may they too be well and happy and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may all these merits be shared with all of us, and may we too have the good fortune to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you be well and happy. Namo Buddhaya.
මෙවැනි වටිනා ධර්මදේශනා නැරඹීමට ශ්‍රද්ධා YouTube චැනලය සබස්ක්‍රයිබ් කර සීනුව ලකුණ ඔබන්න.